In 2014, Laketran will travel 3,335,634 miles, serving over 750,000 riders, helping people of all ages get to work, school, doctor's appointments, grocery stores, shopping malls, and much more. That's Laketran, celebrating 40 years of moving forward. It all started humbly in 1974. Lake County Commissioners founded Laketran so that seniors and people with disabilities could have affordable transportation to get to medical care.
There was little opportunity if they didn't have a car. We used to do a lot of transporting of clients ourselves.
The early years were lean. Funding was a patchwork quilt from various government sources. Early transport was often made in used or donated buses, including one double-decker from London.
The most difficult aspect getting Laketran off the ground was gaining the credibility and convincing people that there was this unmet need in Lake County. And I think it was probably symbolized the best by one of the ads in the 1988 campaign of this wonderful little girl who was in a wheelchair. She uses her chair to get around the house, but she needs Laketran to get around the county.
1988 was the breakthrough with passage of a 0.25% sales tax.
Rewarding thing was watching how we developed as an organization with this attitude towards first-class customer service, dedicated to the riders and the people who needed us across the county.
Laketran has earned our trust with millions upon millions of miles of safe service, quality customer service, including award-winning drivers who are known for their kindness, and a record of innovation and accountability.
Laketran has always been strategic in meeting the needs of our community. When seniors can't get out of their house, can't get to their doctor, can't get to the store, can't get to the senior center, that's a huge problem. And that is a problem that Laketran fixes.
Laketran's GPS-enabled Dial-A-Ride has become an award-winning, efficient model for other communities. Now, Dial-A-Ride makes 1,000 trips a day, assisting the elderly and people with disabilities. And when Lake County had a growing need for affordable, environmentally clean transportation to local jobs and college, Laketran stepped up. 60% of Laketran's riders are riding to work on 6 routes in Lake County or using Park and Ride to Cleveland. Today, transportation to jobs is our #1 service.
If Laketran was not in service, we would have a big problem. We would not be able to get a lot of our mall employees to work, and certainly our shoppers. That's how they get there, and we need them to be shopping in our mall and spending their money here.
Laketran is really important for our students. In many ways, they're not able to get to Lakeland without Laketran bringing them there. The survival of their higher education career begins with Laketran.
Over the last 40 years, Laketran has built partnerships with over 25 health and human service agencies, so clients have access to the critical services they need.
Some people have no family to depend on to get them from point A to point B, and they, at the same time, have a strong desire to remain independent, and that's where Laketran is a huge support.
Laketran is a vital part to Lake County's emergency response team. In the event of a flood, in the event of a fire, Laketran is there to evacuate those who are unable to evacuate themselves. In emergencies, Laketran is there for all of us.
My father broke both of his hips a few years ago, and it became very difficult for me to transport him safely. I contacted Laketran, and he was set up for Dial-A-Ride. It absolutely was a lifeline. There's no two ways about it.
As Laketran looks to the future, it has again studied emerging trends about what is to come. Our plan, Access to Opportunity, focuses on the needs of today and tomorrow.
The growing population of independent disabled individuals whose productivity and quality of life depend on the availability of public transportation. Young adults who prefer public transportation to get to work and travel to downtown. An increasing number of older adults who will depend on public transit as they age.
And so the challenge continues to try to identify the needs and develop a plan that will address those needs.
Because our economy, our families, and our tax base depend on people getting to work.
Because our economic future requires access to affordable higher education.
Because people who cannot drive because they're disabled or because they're elderly must get to health care.
Because having affordable transportation allows many residents to become self-sufficient and remain independent.
Any age, any time, you just don't know how your circumstances may change, and that type of service will be so important.
These are the challenges for Laketran's 5th decade. With your input, engagement, and support, Laketran can meet them.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees and all the dedicated employees of Laketran, we'd like to express our sincere gratitude for all your support and look forward to working with you all as we address the emerging trends over the next 40 years. Hope you enjoyed the ride.
Happy anniversary, Laketran.
We're really better off because of you.
Just a great partner to have in the community.
We couldn't live without them, so happy birthday to Laketran.
Congratulations to Laketran on your 40th anniversary.
Keep it rolling, 40 more.
Congrats, Laketran. 40 years, that's awesome. It really is awesome.